My name is Johnny Kjelsgaard, and I am the founder of GrowthAfrica. GrowthAfrica is an organization that's been around since 2002 and is essentially trying to assist entrepreneurs who are entering into, starting up in, or expanding across Africa.
EcoClass is a virtual classroom for children. But let me explain a bit of the background. Generally in Africa, it's believed that for us to get out of the economic crisis that we're in, education will do it for us. And that's the general belief at the macro level. At the micro level, if you think about every household, the investment in education is believed will take households out of poverty. So how do children improve in the areas of difficulty? This is one big problem. The solution? EcoClass. EcoClass is a virtual classroom. The virtual classroom delivers the real-world classroom scenario to a box. The box would be a tablet, or a phone, or a laptop, or a desktop.
GrowthAfrica was really spun out of the desire to assist entrepreneurs and do that in an African context. I'm an entrepreneur myself, and my first experience with Africa was a very rewarding experience. So once I sold off that company back in 2002, I decided that we should do something that would kind of give back to entrepreneurs and help entrepreneurs more easily overcome some of the obstacles that we had faced as entrepreneurs ourselves.
Our business basically recycles waste plastic into building hardware and sell that hardware to developers whose problem is a high cost. And these are products that are durable and affordable. Our purpose is five-pronged, is five-fold. Other than just offering a totally innovative hardware, we are also looking at upgrading the socioeconomic status for those who live around us, who live where we operate. And we also try to reduce what you call the environmental pollution to become a leading supplier and also get a sustainable return in our investments.
Often what we see the difference really being is three things. It's commitment, it is ambition, and it is the capacity to actually execute the ideas and the strategies and the plans that you have.
The very clear problem is that women and girls cannot access pads. 4 in 5 girls and women are unable to access pads. What this means is they use unhygienic and uncomfortable alternatives that don't work. And so consequently, their productivity and their health reduces. This is a problem for companies and for the women and their families. It's also a problem for girls and the future of East Africa. Over 1 million girls and women girls in Kenya alone miss over 6 weeks of school, and they drop out at twice the rate of boys. We have pads, which I'll pass around in the Q&A, and underpants that are reclaiming factory waste material that I'd love to tell you more about in the Q&A. And our pads have free health education in them that delivers critical, standardized, and fun information to meet this need of pads and health education. The reason we're here with investors is because we can accelerate this impact dramatically with a $500,000 investment about this time next year. We can unlock the middle-class markets in the region, as well as help each of our 15,000 saleswomen to double their income by doubling their customer base.
We are looking for fast-growing businesses, so companies that are in whichever industry but are fast-growing, innovative, and have good managers. So for us, what management is very key, because I personally say that it's better to have even a second-rate technology but with a first-class manager behind it. So we are looking at managers that are passionate and are really able to drive the vision of the business. And the technology also has to be a scalable technology, so that it's not just addressing a small market niche that is finite. It should be a technology that is scalable and can be replicated in different regions and different markets that we as investors want to help you to go into.
We address the challenge of 800 million people in Africa living without access to grid electricity. They spend about $17 billion a year on kerosene alone for lighting. In Kenya alone, 80% of the population live without access to energy. And about 2% of the African population are currently using solar products. We bring the solution to them.
We provide solar-powered modular kits that are easy to transport and assemble on site. They come with 1 to 4 kilowatt power and allow communities to use or to have access to energy 24/7. Our mission is to become the energy gateway to new markets and the driver for economic growth and development, and also to provide off-grid regions with sustainable energy.
The many successes that we've achieved as Growth Africa with the entrepreneurship cohorts, and especially the Innovation to Impact program that we've been running now for 2 years, it's really a pleasure to see very committed entrepreneurs go from a state of having a product to actually having a business. Often what we see in Kenya and across Africa is that entrepreneurs confuse the fact that they have a product with them having a business. And that is the root cause of a lot of the lack of success that we're seeing a lot of entrepreneurs having, that they don't necessarily understand the mechanisms behind building a company around your product or around your service.
Long before microfinance came to Africa, Kenyans started solving this problem themselves by forming groups called chamas. These are social savings groups where people come together and they save their money. The chamas in Kenya actually contribute 42% of Kenya's GDP through the businesses that they own and invest in. And another problem that they have is bookkeeping and lack of transparency. So you have people pooling their money together, and sometimes that money disappears. It usually tends to happen if you don't have good records of who paid what it was used for. Our solution to this is an app called Chama Pesa. The Chama Pesa app does the accounting. We enable the chamas to fund their accounts with mobile money. So currently, most chamas meet once a month, and people have to save their money and give it to the treasurer. We enable them to fund their chama when they get the money, instead of having to wait till the end of the month so it doesn't burn a hole in their pocket.
You have a vision of the world in your head. Your vision of the world does not exist. You're literally reaching into customers' minds every day and planting what your vision of the world is in their heads, and making that vision so irresistible that they will pay you for the privilege of turning that vision into a reality.
This is the product you're calling BNFC. BNFC means Barcode Near Field Communication, and it is what Ndovu Cash is all about. Ndovu Cash is a mobile payment, a mobile wallet, and a payment system. It allows you to swipe this barcode on your phone across a barcode reader, and when you do that, payment is effected. Our vision as a company is to be able to go into a cashless society using barcode as a means of payment. The reason we are here is to seek funding, because our scalability is quite easy to be able to scale into the region, because as we realize, East Africa is moving into an economic bloc, and we want to be able, as well as covering this country, we want to cover Uganda and we want to cover Tanzania, because if you have a bank here and they're running with it in this country, it is not a difficult thing to replicate the same model in Uganda and in Tanzania, and that is what we are seeking to do.
Often what we see is teams of entrepreneurs, teams of co-founders are much stronger and much more likely to succeed than just individual co-founders. And we see that a lot in the tech scene in Kenya. There's a lot of excitement around mobile apps and IT and these things. But we also see that a lot of those entrepreneurs coming out of that environment are individual people trying to do a few things. But in order to move from just having a product to having a business, you need a team around you, and you need to be able to wisely recruit the team, the co-founders, the other entrepreneurs who will make up that team.
We help this business and many others to digitize all their processes and transactions in form of a mobile point of sale system, which is accessible through Android devices. And through this Android device, a business is able to digitize all forms of payments and transactions. And in addition, a business is able to access solutions or systems that would have well been accessible only to large organizations like ERP, CRM, and business intelligence, while at the same time connecting them through this point of sale to mobile money for their growth. So we've seen that other than just like that franchise I've talked about, we have over 30 million businesses in the emerging markets, and 80% of these businesses actually do run on paper. So we see that right now, what we've done, we have about 15 partnerships that are running across Kenya. And with that, we see that in our financial, we are targeting about 100,000 businesses, not only in Kenya, but also in other countries in the emerging markets, in at least 5 countries, in 20 cities.
There are very passionate people behind those businesses, definitely entrepreneurial, an entrepreneurial spirit, and innovation that is disruptive to the industry, because that is what we're looking at. We're looking at not just what has been done by vanilla businesses all over. We are looking at a technology that is disruptive, and that is what I have seen here. People who are defying odds and going out there with technology that will brings a huge difference to how business has been done.
GrowthAfrica has one goal, and that is to become Africa's largest healthcare data bank. And basically what GrowthAfrica does is we harness technology to help improve patient care. The problem with healthcare is this: it's manual and paper-based, so it's very difficult to manage paper records. You have inefficient patient management systems, then integrated healthcare systems, and inefficient financial management systems that lead to the next point, which is fraudulent insurance claims, which number between 30 and 40%. So we have 2 solutions currently: Health Plus for hospitals and large organizations, and iClinic for private practices. Health Plus focuses on digitizing hospitals, and iClinic is for private practices and smaller clinics.
I would tell them to not give up on their dreams, and to first of all even congratulate them for going out there to pursue their dreams. It's a brave leap, and just to tell them not to give up, and that there are investors out here looking for interesting companies like yours to put their money in.
We have a problem in Africa, that is the rate of malnutrition. Yeah, so we have over 500 million people who are micronutrient malnourished. 42% of children lacking vitamin A, 61% of children anemic, and 64% of women are anemic. So we want to reverse that. Our solution lies in providing fortified staple flours in economy parks and affordable distribution cost effectively, and thereby giving us a high cost benefit ratio. Our strategy, of course, includes the East African market. We hope to get a market niche of 8% by end of 2015. We are segmenting our market to be able to serve institutions, humanitarian organizations, and retail outlets.
The startups that came into the program are not the same startups that have come out of the program. They have really moved, some more than others. Of course, it's a very individual journey. Some of them have created enormous momentum in the last 3 to 4 months. Others are on the journey to create that momentum. But I think all of them have done such a great job, and we're very proud of them.
I run a company called Maps of Technologies, which specializes in smart ticketing technologies. Smart ticketing technologies came into being to solve the problem facing public transport sector in this country. The biggest problem which is facing the sector, according to the operators, not according to me, is revenue leakage. These people were losing a lot of revenue through theft by the staff and other forms of corruption. So our system is able to help them minimize the amount of revenue they are losing. We solve a problem by data recording of people who bought, the amount they paid, and where they rated, and how many people enter the vehicle, how many trips the vehicle made, how many stops, and such like data. So we keep data on the operations of the vehicle.
So for solar kiosk, your product works on government's inability to get their act together. What happens when they do get their act together and they go into one of the areas that you've targeted for expansion? Also, what is the cost of the unit?
The government does have plans to electrify in the rural areas, but it's really unrealistic that this is going to happen in the next 10 years. And we're not a competitor of the government. You know, we could be the solution for rural areas. So that's what we are in discussion with.
Hi, my question is for Oscar. What's your product priced at relative to your competitors, traditional clear and steel? And if it's higher priced, how are you proposing to go about beating the competition? Because Kenyans, are quite price sensitive.
About pricing, our main competitors are the steel roofing tiles, like Decra tiles, which cost averagely between at least 2,200 per square meter, as opposed to ours, which is 600 shillings per square meter. Now, the other competitor is other made copper from Mabati rolling mills, which costs about 1,800. So obviously, we have a competitive edge in terms of price sensitivity, and that should be able to reduce the cost of construction per square meter by almost half. If we use this tile and the ISSB blocks, instead of spending between 38,000 to 42,000 per square meter in construction, you will spend about between 18 and 20,000 shillings per square meter. So cost, we beat them.
Yeah, my question is also to EcoClass. He said that the contents are being produced by teachers. I don't know whether the teachers own the contents or what happens now that you use their contents.
Content that is in our system has been provided for by the Ministry of Education. We've trained their curriculum developers alongside 120 other teachers on how to digitize. So that content's royalties or that content's ownership belongs to the Ministry of Education. However, going forward, we're going to train every teacher, anyone who has knowledge, to digitize into our system. It will be available on the cloud and on devices.
What happens if you lose your phone, lose your money? And we are in the process of building a reliability system into ours so that if you lose your phone, a backup of your keys has been stored to the server, but it's been encrypted, and you need a backup buddy to help you get your data back. So that this makes it impossible for an insider at the financial institution to steal your keys and steal your money, because this is a problem in Africa. It's not just a problem in Africa, it happens around the world. Inside theft is about 60% of the financial losses. So we basically built a system that puts the power in the hands of the end user and gives them an option to get their data back if they lose it.
I love Innovation to Impact program. They have helped us restructure our company. They have helped us learn how to put management in place. They have helped us identify our products, our markets, and our customers.
What I also loved about the Innovation Impact program is that it really helped us very systematically through the value compass think through every aspect of what we're doing and why and how. And that was really important for us to get new thinking around what we were doing.
The whole concept and the whole curriculum was very rich. It was tough though, because it forced me to go into certain business elements that I had actually not thought about, and see the element of having these group works that keep rotating. You talk to nearly all the businesses, so it not only makes you to understand all the other businesses, but you also have a platform where these guys also criticize what you're doing. They pinpoint what you're doing, they poke noses, and they just expose whatever weaknesses they see, and it makes you think beyond the box. So I think generally it was very beneficial, and I've actually learned a lot.
I still think what came out of this process was a fair decision, and nonetheless it is your decision as the cohort. So with no further ado, runner-up and the offeree of an investment worth $25,000 is Wanda Organic.
I'm not quite sure I still believe it. I wasn't expecting it at all. So it needs time to digest. We are using the latest in biotechnology to produce and market a superior bioorganic fertilizer to the Kenyan market. So far, the impact I've made is at the government level, trying to introduce this technology, which is the latest, and there was a lot of skepticism when I introduced it. So it's been 2 years of convincing the government that this technology is real and getting it registered. So we're coming to the end of that process, and now we are just beginning to work with farmers. So I think our impact so far is just getting the technology registered and believed at a policy or government level?
I think it's the company of the future, basically. I think it's it's a very good idea. I think it is coming at the right time, and will really make a difference for Kenya and many other countries in Africa.
My mentor has been a great part of it. I think first and foremost it's the belief in me as an entrepreneur, and to have somebody to talk to who understands that journey and what you have to do. She's also been fantastic in terms of connections she's made and advice about who to meet. So the networking aspect has also been really good, and I hope to continue to work with her even after this program.
I feel that she has really deserved it. I think she's really well. I think all these institutions and young enterprises are good, and they have really nice ideas. But well, I'm a little bit influenced, of course. But I was hoping and thinking that Marion would maybe win or become number 2. So that has been the case. It's really nice.